And welcome into Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. We sit down and do this show after the Boston Bruins game in Newark, New Jersey. They lose to the New Jersey Devils 5-1. And the Boston Bruins now find themselves again back in the thick of things, chasing in the wild card race. We'll get to that more in just a moment. Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor, as always, is proudly presented by our lead in-pod sponsor, Fazenda Coffee. Go to fazendacoffee.com/morningbrew to check out all things Morning Brew and all things Fazenda Coffee. They've got all different types of roasts and blends, whole bean or ground. They'll do for you. They'll ship just about everywhere. Go check out fazendacoffee.com. And if you go to /morningbrew, you can check out the Morning Brew blend, Clean Canteen Traveler, and the Morning Brew baseball hat. fazendacoffee.com. They've got you covered. No matter if you're wholesale, retail, anything, they've got you covered. Go check out fazendacoffee.com. This is going to be a quick brew, Razor, so we're quickly going to go over our other two sponsors, all right? Graziano Construction, serving Boston and the Greater Metro West area. Graziano Construction is the contractor who will help you refresh and revitalize your space. They do it all: bathrooms, kitchens, porches, garage, full renos, small renos, painting. There's nothing that Graziano Construction can't do. Call Doug Graziano at 508-330-7589 or visit GrazianoConstruction.com to discuss what you're looking to do. And finally, the other sponsor for this show is Sparks Hockey, the ultimate at-home skate sharpener. Razor and I love to use it, as do our kids. It is a game changer, a lifesaver. Go check out sparkshockey.com. Use the code BREW50, BRU50, and get $50 off your order. They've also got other great deals. Razor, I was just out at Sparks earlier today, visited with Steve Jones, and they were taking care of a buddy, actually of Chris Gentile's Spark Sharpener. They were fixing it, and it was great and awesome to see them. It's really a phenomenal company. We appreciate all of our sponsors. All right, Razor, I appreciate everything that you do. You're going to have to help me out on this one. This was not a pretty game tonight, buddy. This was not. We're going to call this a quick brew. It's going to be not our 35, 40 minutes. It's going to be shorter than that. Bruins lose 5-1. They get off to a good start. Good enough. Beautiful goal. Morgan Geekie scores again. What are you, about 5.5 minutes in to this game? So,
yep, 5:50.
Yeah. I don't even know if I want to go through the entire game like we normally do. It's just like, I mean, I know if people haven't watched, they like to hear that, but things kind of felt, I mean, late in that first period, Devils started taking over a bit here and there, and the Bruins just, Razor, they couldn't answer them in this game once they started losing it.
No.
Oh boy, there we go.
It was a yawn already.
It's early.
I apologize, folks. I've been, I'm
Razor is burning
trying
it
to
at
look
both
at
ends.
this, and this one's tough for me tonight. I hate the individual plays that aren't getting made. I hate the passes that aren't connecting. I hate their inability not to get out of their zone tonight. It set up an early goal, great play by the top line again, who are continue to stay really hot. Geeky finishing, an unbelievable pass from David with an unbelievable play from Zaka. You get some saves from your goaltender, and you go out in the first shift of the second period. You fall down in your own zone. You can't get a flip out of your zone. Then you get away with it somehow. The puck comes back, and you can't connect an 8-foot pass in the middle of that's where I draw the line. Right. Like I've been here. I've been talking about the ways to still find lots of game left in the season. But this one tonight is that one's frustrating because the second period, they had a team that was ripe. They had a team that was not confident. This one, more than most other ones, they just really did just give it to them. And in the second period, it was a frustrating one tonight for sure. And they need guys back ASAP.
Still no Charlie McAvoy, still no Hampus Lindholm, no Mark Kastelik, who's now on IR, no Trent Frederick as he's out with an illness. No idea as we sit and record this show if he will be able to play on Thursday or in Thursday's game at TD Garden against the Ottawa Senators. I I agree with you about the errors, the mental mistakes. This is becoming more mental than physical to me.
Yeah.
You're seeing and I guess you could say that pretty much regularly. I mean, once in a while you'll get beat by a stronger guy, a faster player, etc. But as you said, the pass, like Carlo, he fell, okay, but then he gets back up and he doesn't elevate the puck enough. Then it comes back. Osterley gets it. I'm talking about this first goal, a minute and a half into the second period, the one that Razor talked about. And Osterley gets it and puts it into the skate, the heel of Charlie Coyle, who had who had come back. He was trying to turn up, and the pass goes there, and then here's the other thing. It wasn't like this was this clean shot that beat Jeremy Swayman. The puck funnels back towards the front. It doesn't bobble around, but it's hacked around, and then Dawson Mercer kind of spins around and swats at it. I think did it actually bounce, hit the ice, and then bounce past Swayman on that glove side through his left
pad? If it didn't bounce, it floated. It floated one way or the other, right? Like he got under it, or he bounced it down and up and over. And but yeah, you're right. Like they weren't even. Shot. It wasn't like the D closed out after that play. They backed up even more, and and there was two guys on one in front of the net. Mercer's open. No one gets a stick. It's just, again, you just said it. It's the mental, and that's. Those plays just have to get made. There's just no two ways around it. That's not coaching. That isn't,
that isn't system error
systems there. Or this is just individual.
Yeah, and Judd Surratt pointed it out early in the second, or actually right before the second began, how good New Jersey is in the second period. I believe they're the second best goals against differential team in the league in the second period. So that means they reset after the first. They make adjustments. To their credit, I thought that they played better at the end of the first period. They got their legs going. They started to bring it towards the Bruins. They outshot the Bruins in the first period by 12-5. But for a while, the Bruins were okay in the first. I felt they were okay. And again, late in the period, there was power play. They got a chance. But then also New Jersey got their legs. They did. They found some things, but that second period, 4 goals were scored. I mean, the Bruins they unraveled in the second period. Very concerning in that regard. And what else was concerning, Razor, is that we go back to this thing of giving up goals in bunches. I'm not saying I thought we got away from that 100%, but I sure as heck didn't expect it. I don't know why. Maybe ignorance, I guess, in this game. I don't know. And maybe because New Jersey has been struggling. Folks, they're 2-6-3 coming into this game. They'd scored at 1.8 goals per game. They'd given up over 3 goals per game. So, if this was a time forever to take on the New Jersey Devils, a team that started very well this year, this was the type of game to give it to, especially considering their coach lit into them in morning skate today. He was giving it to him too. Sheldon Keefe let him have it.
No, and again, you had a great start to that. Like you got the lead, you had control of the game. You got out of the first with a lead, and yeah, there was a few bad shit, but you can figure that out on the road how to get through it, and they did. And again, that's what's just so disheartening with the second period and the start of it. And I've been, again, coming out of this game, I'm just laser focused on that first goal they gave up at the start of the second. I think that just snowballed everything because they were essentially in their zone the entire second. And that
17 shots they gave up, 17 shots in the second period.
Yeah. And they were chasing the entire time. And again, it's because you shoot yourself in the foot. And you did it a few more times throughout. A couple offensive zone penalties that haven't happened too often that nailed you today. And it just wasn't that one. There's been nights where they didn't deserve it and things you're just like, wow, how did that happen? This one they didn't deserve it.
They did not deserve it. So the shots in the second were 17-10 in favor of the New Jersey Devils. One of the offensive zone penalties that was taken was not a penalty, in our opinion. We talked about it on the air. Justin Brazeau. This was the one, actually, I'll call moment of goodness, as Beecher ends up getting the puck in his own zone, brings it through the neutral zone, skating hard down the left side. Big Justin Brazeau busts towards the net. Beecher puts a good pass, an area pass into it, leading into him, and then Beecher Brazeau puts on the brakes, but he also has his right skate taken out by the stick of the defenseman Brendan Dillon, and he goes into the goaltender Jacob Markstrom. This is an absolute mass of humanity. A 6'6", 230-pound goaltender and a 6'5", 6'6", 225 or 235-pound forward colliding, and the leg or ankle, whatever it is, the left leg of Markstrom takes the brunt of it, and I felt bad for him, but the referee calls a penalty for goalie interference. And while I understand we're protecting the goalies, what the hell is Justin Brazeau supposed to do there? Nothing. This is not like he's doing the accidentally on purpose, didn't really stop type of thing. This was not even an accident, like skating through the crease, where I can actually understand once in a while, Razor, while they call it because it's in the rule book. His leg was taken out, and then he took out the goaltender. What the hell he's supposed to do, meaning if he's supposed to stop 5 feet in front of the crease, that's BS. We know it. Referee makes a reactionary call, and it puts the Devils on the power play. They end up scoring a goal. But I don't disagree with your partner, though. That wasn't the turning point in the game, but it did have impact in the game.
It did, yeah, it certainly did. The score's 1-1, and even more impact is if Brazeau was able to chip that up and over Markstrom. Markstrom made a great save on that play.
Yes, he did.
If they can get, that's so you add all those three things up, that's the big play in the game. Really big game changing. Not scoring, getting a penalty, and then getting scored on that penalty. You put those together, that's a big difference. Being up 2-1, down 2-1 in a matter of a minute and 2 seconds. So. And Charlie Coyle said it after the game. They didn't really kill it that well either. That seam pass was too easily made.
Way
too overly played the bumper. I don't know why you would be so concerned with that bumper as much as Charlie was. Lost track of where Dougie Hamilton was, and he's built to hit one-timers like that. They made it pretty easy for him. So just an all-around tough 4 minutes in the second period where you had control, you had an opportunity to take more control, and instead you lost all of it.
Yeah, that goal scored at the 4:12 mark. Dougie Hamilton gets his 7th. Bratt was the one who made the pass from the right side to the left side, and the one-timer from Hamilton gives him, again, his 7th goal of the season. So it's now 2-1, 4 minutes and 12 seconds into the second period. You tack on 2 more goals, one at 16:01 and one at 16:13. The one at 16:01 is Stefan Nason. He ends up getting his 18th goal of the season. He's been quite the pickup for them this year. He really has. I mean, I'm not going to say he's the best UFA signing from last season or last summer, but he's up there, at least value-wise. He's up there. 18 goals. He's going to have 25 before the season then. Dawson Mercer puts in his 2nd of the game, his 12th of the season at 16:13 on a play that, I mean, holy smokes. The Bruins get the puck deep, or the Bruins have the puck deep in their zone. Lowry can't pick it off the wall. There's others out there. It becomes an easy play from behind the net. Dowling hits Mercer alone in the slot. The Bruins can't recover. He zips it by Swayman to make it 4-1. That's your scoring in the second period. And again, change things a ton. I'll give you the other goal in the third just to rip through it. It's Nico Hischier. He gets his 23rd, 13:32 mark. Another power play. So 3 power play goals for the New Jersey Devils in this game. The Bruins end up having 3 power play opportunities for a total of 5 minutes and 12 seconds, and they go 0 for 3 on the power play. Total shots in this game, 23 for the Bruins, 35 for the New Jersey Devils. After the second period, Razor, Jeremy Swayman was pulled. There was a stretch of a couple of minutes there where he was literally flying around. It was a 3 minute and 50-second shift for Andrew Peak, but we'll call it 3 to 4 minutes for Swayman of intense leg burning type of shift where he's making saves, especially moving from his right to his left. He did everything he could to battle through it. The Bruins did everything they could to battle through it too. But again, they had chances to get the puck out of the zone a few times, and all of a sudden they're not able to clear the puck again, Razor.
No, they weren't. And again, Joe Sacco said it. The problem with that game was managing the puck out of their own zone. They couldn't. They didn't. And that shift that's not just a micro, that's a macrocosm. It was so long, that shift. That's not a little one. That's a big boy. 20% of the period was on that.
Look at you going all econ on the
I
morning
know.
brew
How
with
about
Jaffe
that,
and
right?
Razor.
I put that
Really?
together. I mean, I don't really understand it all, but I know micro is less than macro. So there you
Attaboy. That's all right.
Not bad.
All
Not
right.
bad for my
That's pretty much all
Sudbury
I know
high
too.
education. Geez, that's frustrating tonight, boy. That was a good one.
Yeah, I mean the lack of cohesiveness of getting
Because
the
again,
puck.
why don't they ice it there, right? Like,
I don't know. We were
why was
yelling,
nothing done?
ice the puck. Yeah.
Why was that just like a lot? Why did everyone just go along with that? Like that's what's odd. Like,
That's a mental thing. That's a
yeah, a lot of
mental thing.
times you'll get that'll happen because it'll be a 5-minute shift because you've iced it 5 times and you couldn't get off the ice. But that was like no one iced it. No one.
No.
It's just really odd. Really, really odd how they missed
just
it.
Razor, they just don't seem to handle the adversarial times well this year. It's been, I know they've gotten away from it a little bit, but it's too often that they've been scored on in bunches. It's just too often. They don't reset well. They don't refocus well. And I think that's a lack of confidence. I do. I think it's a lack of confidence with what they've got going.
Yeah, it's a lack of something. And again, they've got to just, they got to keep their head above water until they get these guys back. They got to find a way to grind points out of Ottawa.
Korpisalo comes in for the third period. Didn't surprise any of us. We were discussing it off air and then on air. I would guess that Swayman starts against Ottawa. I would guess. I think if he had gotten through this game without giving up, the team giving up that much, I think Korpisalo would have gone. But now that they took Swayman out, he played really, really well for the 2 periods that he was in there. I got to imagine that he starts. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. Just as much because Joe was so non-committal to who is playing tomorrow, and he did the Swayman's playing tonight, and we'll see how tonight goes. And I mean, typically, if it's a back-to-back, I don't know how many times a goalie's played both. I think Vejmelka's the only guy this season, and that was because they had no one else essentially to play the back-to-backs out in Utah. So the fact that they didn't just automatically say that it was Korpisalo tomorrow and they put him into the third period makes me think that they wanted to give Jeremy a little bit of a blow, a little bit of an extra 45-minute mental rest to be ready to go tomorrow.
A couple of guys just to fly through Razor again on this quicker brew. Didn't really notice Elias Lindholm in this game. Did you? I mean,
other than the pass to Wahlstrom.
Yeah.
That was it.
Okay. Mason Lowry was credited with 4 giveaways in this game. He was +6 in his previous 4 games coming in. He was even in this one, but I thought at times again he struggled in his own zone. It's something that has
on the PK in the first, he gave the puck away. Like, it was just those are the mental things. And he's a young guy, and we're gonna say mental things with him. I expect for another 60 to 70 games here,
maybe even
right?
more.
We're going to be this time next year. We hopefully are just getting over it, but it's going to be another half a season for him next year where it's like, all right, dude. All right. But tonight was one of them. He had a great game last game and he didn't build on it. That's, and as a young guy, that's what you want to show people. And he didn't.
Speaking of having a great game last game, Matthew Poitras. In this game, he was a -2. He took 5 faceoffs. He was 2 of 5. He had 3 attempts total. I beg your pardon. One of them hit the net. I felt like I noticed him, but this was
the same as he didn't build.
No, he didn't build. He didn't. And
he had an opportunity.
Yeah, and his line mates, they were all guilty of something in this game. So I'm not looking for anybody that really had a great game. Looking just statistically, Pastrnak at 19-13, he had 10 shots, 5 of them on net, 10 attempts, I should say. 5 of them hit the net. He had the beautiful assist, and Morgan Geekie had the goal. I thought Morgan said it very well at the end when he was quoted in post game about the issues, and embarrassing, he called it, what's going on. You can tell that he's confident. You can tell that he is feeling it, and he's empowered. And so therefore, he's calling it as it is. Otherwise, like tomorrow night, I mean, you had Max Jones come up. I actually thought Jones looked pretty decent in the first period. I thought his effort and his straight line game, his stop and starts, his ability a few times to have his stick nullify either a pass or impact it just a little bit. I thought it was good, but as the game went on, I didn't really feel like I noticed him, and I didn't. Again, you could say the same thing probably about 98% of the team, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's they just didn't allow themselves anybody to do any impact in the second, and then the third was irrelevant. So it's they didn't put themselves in a position to succeed at all after the first.
Yeah. Where else should we go with this? Anywhere besides home? I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be a smart ass here. I'm trying to be like, this.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel, there wasn't a lot of positive, obviously. I love talking hockey. I can talk and talk and talk. I'm sure.
Well, it was just a game where it's like there was no nuance to it tonight, right? There was no debate. It was right in front of you. It was just like
and I feel like the breakdown, like we like to do of goals and stuff.
That's what I mean. It was there. Like you saw it. There's nothing to break down. The guy didn't make a pass. They got it back and they shot it and they scored.
The nicest goal of the game was the Bruins goal.
Oh,
it was the nicest goal. And I guess we'll break it down for you really good. If you haven't a chance to see it, it's the first period, and it ends up being as the puck is brought into the zone, but then the Bruins, they lose it. And I don't remember for who had it from New Jersey, but both Pastrnak and then Zacha reload through the middle of the ice. Pastrnak is above Zacha. Zacha's just inside the blue line. Zacha makes a nice play, stripping the puck, gets it then over to Pastrnak, who kind of flanks out to the right side. Pasta takes it down, and from just inside that right faceoff circle, loads up like he's going to release a wrist shot or one of Pasta's slingshots. Markstrom focuses squarely on him. Meanwhile, off to the blocker side or the left wing side is Morgan Geekie. The right shot left winger's got his stick available, and there's a gorgeous no-look pass from Pastrnak over to Geekie, who then sizzles it past Markstrom, who had no chance. So there's a breakdown for you of the prettiest goal of the game.
Yes, it was, and the top line was their best line, if that matters.
For what it's worth,
yeah. They played well, and that was a really good goal. And I thought, I really, really did think up until New Jersey scored their goal in the second, that it was a very important goal to get a lead and a very important opportunity and a chance to really have a game on the road, because those guys showed up early and were on time and got that goal like that so early.
All right, so now the Bruins have to get home. It's not a long flight. They won't get home too late. They won't have morning skate. They face the Ottawa Senators, a team that they had a 5-3 lead on late in the game just the other day in Ottawa, Saturday afternoon, only to give it up with 2 extra attacker goals and then losing a shootout. Meanwhile, Ottawa's coming in after getting throttled the other night, Razor, by the New York Rangers. And so, they're going to be ready. They're going to be feeling like they need to get right back into the win column. The Bruins have got to be ready. You hope that Trent Frederick can come back. I think Cole Koepke is close to. I know he skated. I would have to imagine one of those two guys. We don't know about the situation with Frederick. We don't know how ill. I mean, obviously he's been sick enough that he's been out now for 2 games. Didn't even travel with the team.
Pretty sick.
So, if he's got some of the stuff that's going around, it could be a week. Who knows? Maybe Cole Koepke's ready to come back. I could see it. If he is, I think he would come back into the lineup. Otherwise, folks, there's not really many changes you can make. You've got Michael Callahan as the extra defenseman, but
you might see him. He played well in his first game out, and
maybe you say, hey, listen, why not?
Yeah, that's it. He's a little bit longer. He's a little, maybe more defensive minded, and you just lock it down tomorrow night at home.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is then a short brew. All right. Unless there's something else you want to get into real quick. I don't want to get into all the other stuff that's out. Let's wait and see what they do. We're not going to do a show after tomorrow night because Razor's got a crazy travel schedule coming up.
Apologies, folks.
Yeah, after the
My
game.
last weekend. My last crazy weekend.
Really?
Well,
I think
for the kids, yeah.
Yeah. We got
till the next one, I guess. It's hard to say that. But.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, here's the other thing. Important. On February 1st, Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor, including the one and only RC, the man behind the curtain. We will be at TD Garden, specifically at Heritage Hall, the new area that the Bruins built out this year for Bruins history and some interactive stuff. It's really cool. It's a really cool place. We're going to do a live Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor from there before the Bruins take on the New York Rangers. So at approximately 2 o'clock, probably from like 2 to 2:45, Razor and I are going to be there. Come hang out. We're going to do an episode. We're going to record it there. It will also, we're thinking of doing a live stream of it as well. We'll see how that is, if we can make that happen. Regardless, we're going to be live there. So if you're coming to the game or if you're just in the area and you want to come hang for a little bit, come say hi to us. Feb 1st, before the Bruins play the New York Rangers, again, approximately 2 o'clock. We'll hammer down the specifics. I'm pretty sure it's going to be from 2 to 2:45 because the game, Razor, is a 3:30 game. And so we'll do a pre-morning brew with Jaffe and Razor before the Bruins take on the Rangers. So, folks, mark it down. If you're coming to the game, please make sure to come by. There is a fee to get into Heritage Hall, but it allows you to do the entire thing. They say you can take up to an hour in there just doing all the different things inside Heritage Hall. So the Bruins really done a beautiful job with it. We will also put on social media, Razor, what exactly we're doing. But put it down, Feb 1, and live Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. All right, it's going to wrap up this show. Thank you to Fazenda. Thank you to Sparks. Thank you to Graciano Construction for sponsoring this show. The Bruins lose 5-1. And as I said at the beginning, they are really in the thick of it right now. They're outside the playoff picture for what it's worth. Yes, there's 30-ish games left. There's still a lot, but not as much as there used to be. How's that for a close? Go have yourself another cup of coffee.